let's get into our top story, which is the war in Ukraine. It's our favorite segment where the United States and NATO, who are they going to go to war with next? It's like spin the wheel, figure it out, because it's hard to keep track. Over the weekend, we saw a number. Is it Haiti? Is it Taiwan? Is it Ethiopia? Is it Russia? We're getting ready for a massive military move from Russia against Ukraine. And overnight, China and now Italy, Kazakhstan, Belarus, and India all telling their citizens to basically get the hell out of Ukraine right now. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just get the heck out. China, of course, a major ally of Russia. Maybe they got a phone call, perhaps. Maybe they got a little heads up about what's coming. This comes as Russia announced today its mobilization of 300,000 troops is complete. On Friday, Putin said that he thought it would take another 2 weeks, but they finished today 2 weeks early and closed the offices needed for the mobilization. They will not need to call up any more soldiers, and they are ready for what's coming. So yeah, might want to get the hell out of Ukraine.
Right.
A massive military mobilization in just days or weeks away, depending on whether or not the ground is freezing, and whether or not, again, they're going to be able to mobilize in probably about 2 to 3 weeks. That's what, according to Colonel Douglas McGregor, said. They're going to wait till that happens. Who knows? Meanwhile, a few days ago, Patrick Lancaster asked this question on Twitter: is Belarus about to be an active part in the Ukraine war? Belarus has introduced a counter-terrorist operation after reports of planned provocations by a number of neighboring states. So, today, then we've got word Belarus announced they stopped a terrorist attack that likely came from Ukraine. Here's the map of Belarus, just to remind you sort of how all of this country fits in the mix of it. Notice there's the Minsk. There's Minsk right there, the capital, right there in the middle of it, right? Of course, the Minsk Accords from 2014. According to Belarusian Internal Affairs Ministry, saboteurs who planned terror attacks were trained in Poland, gained combat experience in Ukraine. They were then tasked with planting bombs and preparing incendiary devices. So, what happened? Well, then Russia launched fighter jets over Belarus today. Watch. So you can see these are Belarus. These are jets flying over Belarus, and these are hypersonic. According to reports, these were military planes with hypersonic weapons on them, flying over Belarus on what they said was like general security sweeps now, but they're going to be ramping up these security protocols over Belarus. So back to NATO. Instead of backing off, Western countries led by NATO forces launched attacks inside of Russia. And just when you thought that the U.S. would pull back, it's actually turning things up to 11, and they're going to get us all killed in a nuclear war. So overnight, NATO and Ukrainian forces launched an attack on a recruiting showcase target inside of Russia. Take a look at this.
Lose weight eating our biggest, heartiest, and most satisfying meals ever. Introducing new hearty...
Sorry about that, y'all. Oh my goodness. Wow. Looks like to me NATO's given permission, you guys. Expect to go home really soon.
So a day before, 2 men opened fire at this same training camp. This attack killed 11 people and injured 15. The Russian Defense Ministry said the 2 gunmen were from a former Soviet nation and had fired on the soldiers during target practice at a firing range. So here's how the propaganda New York Times portrayed the attacks. Look at this. Struggling on the battlefield in southern and eastern Ukraine, Russia felt war on its own territory on Sunday as more than a dozen explosions ripped through a Russian border region, and a series of blasts severely damaged the offices of Russia's puppet government in the Ukrainian city of Donetsk.
Okay. Or the government that they just voted into
Right.
Russia.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, and also, we got to remember, every time they bomb something, there's generally civilians, which means they just bomb their own country.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
yeah,
they're just
good
like
point.
openly admitting it now.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, now at least they're calling attention to it. So before, like before they wouldn't say it. Now they're saying, oh, it's just a puppet government, so now we can attack them. Okay, makes a lot of sense. So this is how you win the hearts and minds of the people back.
Yet they are telling us that they won't attend any peace talks because these are our people. We can't leave them there. We can bomb them, but we can't leave them there. That do you see how that doesn't make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
So we can bomb them, but we can't take care of them. So we can't provide any kind of help to them, but we can certainly bomb them.
No,
That's
the
how-
idea is we can't come to peace talks because we know that Russia's conditions will be leaving these regions in Russia's hands. And we can't just leave them to be a part of Russia because they're our people. We need to take them back into our borders. That's how they feel. That's what the First Lady said on 60 Minutes. That's why we can't have any peace talks because these are our people. But it's okay to bomb them.
Yeah. NATO forces, meanwhile, also launched attacks in the Donbass, hitting buildings in Donetsk. Reports are that these were HIMARS attacks from American weapons. American tax dollars hard at work. Watch. Yeah, so just look at these images. This was an administrative building. And you might remember, by the way, that the people of Donetsk voted overwhelmingly a few weeks ago to become part of Russia. 99% of the vote in Donetsk. I wonder why. Again, you have these types of attacks, maybe that they don't want to be a part of it. Reminder that Russia now officially recognizes this as part of Russia, so NATO is actively attacking Russia. Putin spoke to reporters this morning on this very question and said, sending NATO troops into direct engagement, a direct clash with the Russian army, is a very dangerous step that could lead to a global catastrophe. I hope those who talk about this will be smart enough not to undertake such steps. Russia responded this morning with massive drone attacks then across Ukraine. Take a look at this. This was a drone attack early morning as the sun was just rising over Kiev in Ukraine. This was a unmanned drone attack. So these are kamikaze drones. Then a short time later, visual confirmation of the attack, which took out the power grid to Ukraine. So here's what one of these looks like. These are Iranian drones. Take a look at this. It's pretty.
This is what
pretty-
Amir
they're
was
actually
talking
pretty
about,
large.
y'all.
And then we have visual confirmation then just a short time later of this actually striking the power grid. So you take a look at this. So this was visual confirmation of that power plant being hit. There, according to reports this afternoon, over 580 different cities now through Ukraine are without power. Mm-hmm. So this is total. They're totally in the dark as a result of this. And you can blame NATO for these provocations.